the issue of making excuses. The issue of making excuses or just blaming. And I'll go specific to the blame where people complain about Muslims in the media. Oh, look, there they go again, saying bad things about Muslims in the media. Let's just, step away from that sheep blaming that happens, and let's look at what could we possibly do that is in our control. Okay? Number one, what is it that you expect the media to do? Oh, sheep who's complaining about the media, what do you expect? Do you expect them one day to, on the cover of the local newspaper in the big news, they were like, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, come to Islam, come to success. Are you waiting for that day? Because the people are complaining, it's as if they're waiting for that announcement to come out on the news. Here's a wake-up call, it's never going to happen. Okay? It's not happening. So what are you waiting for instead? Faisal Kutti, who is, he's a lawyer in Toronto, and his father's imam in Toronto as well. He was explaining that, let's look at a newspaper. If you've ever run a newsletter, local newsletter, you know how hard it is to get articles, correct? If you run a newsletter, it's very difficult to get articles, and especially when newspapers are coming out like every day, you have to get quality articles. So it's like if the Muslims only organized themselves and created, like let's say 50 articles a month. Let me even push it further than that. 50 articles a day, really high quality syndicated articles, and you presented that to the newspapers and the blogs and this and that. 50 articles a day. And by the way, you don't even need, these days, a newspaper to accept it. You can blast it all over the internet and get like 50,000 people reading it. If you just play your, search engine optimizations properly, and you know how to run Google, and you really have a good article and you play it properly, people are going to start coming to you to like pulling these articles. Okay, so let's suppose you're producing 50 high-quality articles every day. The newspapers are going to start printing from that. You've thrown out a big net. They're going to start picking up on these articles, and your articles are going to come in the news. Then once they see that you are mastering this, you truly are a niche hero. This is your niche. If they want Islamic articles or articles from the Muslim community, they come to you. Then you're going to start getting requests. Do you know how many news media stations there are? Right? All the newspapers in every city, all the local newspapers, all the radio stations, all the TV stations, and then the big TV stations, the big sharks, CNN, Fox, and all of them, they're going to kind of they're like, we're CNN, you have to give us your news story first. Everybody starts hammering down from this. There's so much people coming in that every time you throw out an article, it gets snatched up by all these people, right? So much so, I know this guy that was teaching how to be in the media. He started this, he was the guy who did the Free Paris Hilton campaign. Do you guys remember that? When she went to jail? And these guys did like a Free Paris Hilton campaign. You know it? Okay, no problem. Nobody wants to admit their sins, right? Okay, so this guy, I read a book by him. He's the one who did that, just for the sake of publicity. And he was there was 12 media stations surrounding him, and actually his protest group was 10 people. But it was Paris Hilton after all, right? So so all the news stations wanted to cover him, and he said I think CBS radio called him while these 10, and he picked up the phone, and there's 10 cameras, and it's hello, this is CBS radio, we're talking to you. Sir, you are live online right now. Right? So he's he couldn't say anything to them. He couldn't tell them, no, I can't do the interview right now. This guy is Free Paris Hilton. Okay? So, and he was explaining this media frenzy that happened. If you can do this for Free Paris Hilton, do you think there are bigger causes that need to be supported? And if they can get results like that, what's holding you back? You know what's holding you back is the statement, oh, why does the media keep saying bad things about us? That's what's holding you back. It's because you keep saying that. And if you only started working in the field, you will see very quickly, you will attract all-stars, and writers, Muslims have millions of writers. Every Muslim sister is like a writer. They can write articles, and some brothers too. So you got all these articles, they pump up. Now you have a competition going between all-stars, really good articles, not just fluff articles, really good ones. And now you created Associated Press. You've got the Associated Muslim Press version, where you're syndicating articles. All these articles are going around the world, and you can spend your life doing that. And this is your niche. This is what you take forward, and you move forward. You're managing your all-stars, and then you duplicate this in another niche, duplicate it in another niche, and you move on from there. So it's not about making excuses. It's about, like, dude, just start working.